10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is Michael Voss, the Dragon of the Southern Tier, here with you at the No Soundbites Allowed podcast, and I thank you. I appreciate you. You guys are why I come back week after week, and I thank you for that because it's very important. Now, I don't normally make a video like this. It's somewhat of a rant. It's a little bit different than what I normally do. I normally talk about politics, Congress, what's going on there, the president, talking about local or state government and various bills that will affect us all. But what I want to talk about today is no less as serious, no less of an impact on all of our lives. And yet, this is very much social media dominated. This is very much outside of normal politics. And what I'm talking about is Gillette. Now, we're talking about Gillette, which is owned by Proctor Gamble. And I do mean to say to them, shame on you. Shame, just like in Game of Thrones. Oh, yes, shame. I'm very upset with Gillette. I'm very upset with Proctor Gamble. I'm very upset because I'm a man and they're attacking me. They're telling me, and all men out there, young boys and up, that we're somehow some kind of defective, violent, evil group of beings, which is a very odd thing to say to half the population of the planet, and also pretty much your dedicated customer base that they're targeting. They want me to buy their product as they tell me I am just horrible. I'm the worst thing that could possibly exist. I'm sorry, I've been on the planet for 50 years, and I don't agree with your summation of what makes me a man. Okay, I'm not some kind of evil being just running around because you guys don't like something about me, or you're trying to assume that I happen to be a certain way. Now, I know this is not something I normally follow. I mean, I saw a couple of posts out there. I was watching people talk about this, and I didn't actually see the video. I actually just saw the video. I had to see it 3 times, actually, because I wanted to speak about it here. And let me be very clear. This is insulting. It is absolutely insulting. I don't care what your political views are. This is insulting if you happen to be a man. And actually, it insults women as well. And I'm going to go into that in just a second. But let's address something very straight up, right at the very beginning here on the onset. I wasn't going to answer this because I thought it was just one of those things. And then I saw some YouTube videos, and it caught my attention because of the things they isolated about it, and that made me decide I want to see the video, which infuriated me. But one of the things that I had seen, I'm going to play it for you here so you get to understand why I say, Gillette, shame. Shame on you, Gillette.
Advert.
Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual
Toxic
harassment.
masculinity.
Is this the best a man can get? Is it?
Okay, so right from the very beginning there, the implication is very, very clear. You've got a group of men, and overlaid is some narration about toxic masculinity and the Me Too movement, which is all about sexual assault and rape. And then you ask the question, is this the best a man can get? The implication couldn't be clearer. The idea that's being promoted here is that not only is this the norm for the majority of men, but in actual fact, this is held up by the majority of men as being the pinnacle of what masculinity is all about. So things like sexual assault and rape, apparently, according to Gillette, are being held up as the best a man can get. That's
right. That's right. That's the assumption here. That is what we hear Gillette and their parent company, Procter & Gamble, saying to men out there. You, the very best a man can be, is some evil rapist, bully. That's all we are. We're just evil rapist bullies running around with no control, no impulse control. We're just violent creatures just running everywhere. Are you kidding me? I'm 50 years old, and I'm very happy that most of the time I do not use the Gillette product. And going forward, I absolutely will not use the Gillette product, and I will make a great effort to use very little of the Procter & Gamble product because I don't agree with someone trying to infer or to project this message to all men of all ages, little boys on up, that somehow being a man is an evil wrong of the world, and that I should be sorry for that. I should somehow ask for forgiveness for being a man. This is like people who I've talked to, even some politicians who've said that they're sorry for being white. How dare you? Be proud of what you are. What's wrong with being white or Asian or Hispanic or black? Be who you are. If you're a male, be a male. If you're a female, be a female. If you are gay, be gay. I don't care. Be you. This is why you're on the planet. This is your life. Live it. Don't have other people try and tell you that somehow intrinsically, because you exist, there's something wrong with you. How dare you say that, Gillette? How dare you? How is this different than any other form of sexism or racism that people talk about on a regular basis? Somehow men are inferior for the mere fact that they are a man. How is that different than someone saying that someone who is Asian is inferior for the mere fact that they are Asian? Or you could say that with black, Hispanic, you could say it with Jews, you can say that with Muslims, Hindus. I don't care which group you want to put in there. This is a bigoted, racist, sexist comment. It is horrible. You are denouncing a group of people and assigning on that group of people en masse the very worst traits that you could possibly imagine for these people. Now, I'm not saying that every man is a saint. That is far from the truth. Then again, I don't know any human being that is a saint. That's why there are so few saints. Let's be honest with each other about this. People aren't great all the time. That doesn't mean that every single man is some kind of evil, racist bully every day, all the time, everywhere. That there is no time in life that men aren't trying to either rape somebody, bully somebody, be violent to everybody around them. Come on, let's get realistic here. What about the men who work at Proctor Gamble? Can they be proud of this comment, of this video, of this message that's being sent out there to their kids? That somehow if you don't instantly jump in and physically assault another man because he's doing something that might be perceived by someone somewhere as being aggressive, well, that's a problem. I'm sorry, I'm a man. I have aggressive tendencies. Most men do. Some women do. Some people who are gay do. So that's human nature. Just because someone doesn't like necessarily all of those things, those attributes that come in the human nature, doesn't mean that I somehow have to apologize for it, or somehow that's wrong about me. That's insane. How can we say this? And again, this is, if you change this and said this about blacks or Hispanics or Jews or Asians or Muslims, then you would hear an absolute outrage, or women for that matter, if you heard this being said about any other group, that they are violent, that they have no impulse control, that they are mindless, that they are just violent, then you would absolutely hear a massive protest from the news media saying, how dare you say such a thing? Except this matches a certain type of agenda that is out there that denigrates a group of people for the mere existence of those people. That is horrible. That is insulting. That is bad towards men. But guess what? It's also bad towards women, because I saw this as well.
Excuse me. As a woman who thrives on confrontation, who is not afraid to be aggressive, is frequently the most aggressive person in the room, who very much enjoys contact sports, is not going to back down from a fight, and who will absolutely shamelessly tell you that I only saw Aquaman for Jason Momoa's abs. I feel utterly marginalized by this ad. Utterly marginalized. Like my behaviors don't count. Like somehow, because I'm a woman, I don't behave this way or act this way too. That my actions need not be addressed in the same manner. For when I do them, they're not toxic masculinity, but somehow I don't know what they are. Are they female empowerment now? Or do you just pretend they don't exist because they're masculine behavior? And in this new world where gender doesn't mean anything, where it's totally non-binary and you can be anything, I can't possibly exhibit masculine behaviors. Do we see a problem with this? Do we see a lot of confusion with the messaging here? I mean, but seriously, that is a huge issue that you're not looking at this toxic masculinity and being like, these are clearly toxic masculine traits. No, you're looking at behavioral traits and labeling them as masculine. Is it more likely that a man is going to be physically aggressive than a woman? Probably. But that doesn't mean that that's a masculine trait. And it doesn't mean there aren't plenty of women who are equally or more so aggressive. Right? So all you're doing is just taking a bunch of bad negative traits and calling them masculine to once again further this us versus them narrative. To once again go after people and create enemies when that's not the way you create change. Creating enemies doesn't create change. It creates enemies, it creates violence, it creates problems. You don't get change by making people mad at you. You don't you create change by attacking people and going after their character. That's not how change is created, right?
All right. And so that was yet another comment that was made on YouTube that I want to address. This is bad for women. A woman who exhibits these, is it bad for everyone? Is it bad just for men? Can women be women or can women only be considered a woman if she's exhibiting the exact same traits as a man? If these things are negative, then they're negative for everyone. If they're not negative for everyone and they're based on context, on situation, then what does it mean? I'm sorry, these things are not so simple as some company, quite honestly, a company, Gillette, that is out there to make a profit. They're out there to just sell a product. And quite honestly, they don't care. They're not there because they're some kind of great company that's out there looking for the very best of anyone. They're not. They're not trying to be helpful. What they're trying to do is sell a product, and they think this is the best way to sell it, which is a sad statement about our society at this moment, that everyone is concerned about what is toxic masculinity. You know what's toxic to masculinity? The lack of male role models. Okay, I'm a 50-year-old man. I didn't run around my lifetime trying to rape everyone, trying to have violence everywhere, trying to destroy people, that I was some kind of bully all the time. No, that's not what I do with my life. Am I aggressive? Of course, I'm in politics. You know what? So are women who are in politics. Everyone in politics or as a political pundit is aggressive. It's part of the job. But at the same time, let's make sure that doesn't mean we're evil people, whether they're on the right, the left, if they're in some other fringe group, they're part of a third party. That doesn't make us evil. That just makes us people with certain personalities. So when I hear this company that's trying to sell a product that's telling me that I'm an evil person, and because I'm an evil person, that I should buy their product, I have to say, no, hell no. No, I'm not going to do that. And how dare you say that? That is insulting. And it is, again, I will say it again, they are inherently, by their statement, assuming a sexist, very likely racist, bigoted position. Because if this were to be said by any other group about if anyone was to say this about any other group, you would be labeled instantly as some kind of ism and you would be denounced and your company would fall apart. Well, and obviously Gillette thinks that this is going to help them out and they're going to make more money. Proctor Gamble seems to think that this is the best way to sell a product. Well, guess what? Here's some alternatives. There are two alternatives in the American market. These are American companies. I'm not being paid by any of them. I do not receive a dime. There is the Dollar Shave Club and there is Harry's Razors. You can go to either of those. Those are American versions to get that. They are not owned by Procter & Gamble. The French alternative, which most people may have heard of before, is Bic. Yeah, Bic is owned by a French company, but they are another alternative. Now, I myself will make sure that when I go forward and I'm buying various razors for whatever reason, I want to shave, trim up, I will use one of those three alternatives, maybe a fourth, I don't know. But I definitely won't use anything by Procter & Gamble. I definitely won't use the Gillette product because they obviously don't want my money. They don't want me as a customer. And I'm perfectly fine with listening to them as they tell me they don't want my service. They don't, rather, my money and my sponsorship, my support. And that's okay. I don't have to support them. And I definitely won't support them I don't support people who think I'm evil just because I'm male, because I was born. Just like I wouldn't support somebody who tells me that they hate me because I'm black or that they hate me because I'm Hispanic. Okay? These are traits that have nothing to do with who I am. And for someone to hate that just because I exist, no, you don't get to have my support. You don't get to have my money. You don't deserve that. And you should be ashamed. Very much ashamed. Just like in Game of Thrones, shame, shame, shame. Let's throw a stone because you earned it. You may disagree. You may think it's a wonderful idea. Please explain to me, if you're listening to this, how every man is some evil rapist bully. Because I can tell you, 50 years of my life, my experience across the world as well as in America is that is not real. That is not true. That is some sexist, bigoted information being put out there. And just because they have a really good ad, they expect people to believe it. But if you take 15 seconds, you walk down the street, you talk to anybody randomly, and I'm pretty sure 99% of the time you're going to find every single man that you run into is not an evil rapist bully. Nor are women, nor are people who are black or Hispanic or white or Jewish or Muslim. It's just not real. And this is the worst form of attack you can have out there. And maybe it works for people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez who believe their feelings are more important than facts, but I'm sorry, maybe it's because I'm old. Facts matter more than feelings. If you feel this is true, fantastic for you. I hope you have a great day. I don't agree. My feelings say you're wrong. But if you're looking at facts, the facts are this is wrong, and it's vile. Vile. So I did want to comment on this, something I normally wouldn't. I thank the 2 YouTube channels that I saw there for highlighting this and make me interested enough to find out what's going on, and I wanted to add my words. Please, I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know what you think, and I hope everyone has a great day, because I have to tell you, at the end of the day, whether you're white, black, Asian, Jewish, Muslim, whatever you could be, if you are an American, I appreciate the fact that you took some time to join me here today and hear this. And I hope that you're all going to be well. And I'll talk to you all again very, very soon. Thank you.